What's going on? 10 o'clock. Good morning. From the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studios, I am Robert Walsh. In former Titans news, Adam Schefter reports this morning that Dallas-based crime defense attorney Michael J. Todd announced that all criminal charges against his client, former Chiefs and Titans cornerback Legarius Sneed, have been dismissed. Sneed originally was charged with aggravated assault that was reduced by a grand jury to a misdemeanor offense of failure to report the commission of a felony. The state of Texas dismissed the misdemeanor completely Friday, which Todd says leaves Sneed without conviction of or admission of any kind. In other NFL news, veteran edge rusher Dante Fowler is signing with the Seahawks on a one-year deal worth around $5 million. Fowler spent last season with the Cowboys, starting 11 games and finishing with 20 pressures and 3 sacks. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5. The Zone.
So, yes, a little former Titans news to start the morning. About 20 minutes ago, Adam Schefter, as you heard Robert Walsh just tell you, reported that the charges have been dropped against Legarius Sneed, who was cut from this roster. When was the SEC tournament? Early March, right around free agency, maybe a little after the start of free agency, mid-March, perhaps. Good morning. Hope you're off to a great start. Feels amazing outside. On this Tuesday, 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to jump in. The F&M Bank chat is also open for business. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch. Good morning.
What up?
How are we?
We're chugging along. How about you?
Great. Swell.
I'm glad. I was a little surprised at all the responses this morning to your video last night, not wanting to wish anyone tighten up on their birthday. And I figured out that I'm just going to have to make it. I'm going to have to make you say tighten up.
Why?
Because that's what the people want. After seeing all the responses of, oh, come on, you can't say it one time.
Are you surprised by that?
No, I'm not surprised by the fact that you won't say it, but I'm surprised by the fact that they want to hear it.
You were surprised by the responses?
No, I'm surprised that they care about you caring about it. So I'm a man of the people. I like to fulfill them. I like them to be fully filled. So that's what I'll do. I'm going to make you say it.
Do you want to play the exchange that started that dialogue yesterday? Because I don't want the kid to have a bad birthday or anything like that. Like, I wanted to make sure that I wished him a very happy birthday. I don't know. Why do I have to say it?
You just do. But it's okay. If you missed yesterday's show, we had a very nice call from a man who had a simple wish for Buck on his son or grandson. I don't remember.
I believe it was his grandson. It was a caller from Dixon. I don't remember the guy's name.
Yeah, I think he was a phony, but it brings up a real opportunity. Here was the call from yesterday.
Let's go to Alan in Dixon first.
Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well today. It's my grandson's birthday. He's turning 7 years old, and he listens to y'all every once in a while, and he wanted me to ask you something for his birthday book. He wanted me to say tighten up to you, and he wanted to hear a big tighten up from you. And you guys have a good rest of your day. Tighten up.
Hey, tighten up. Hey, what's his name? Dang it. All right, give him a tighten up for his birthday, Buck.
Happy birthday.
So to save us all a little bit of time, You would not wish this child tighten up on his birthday. So I did some soul searching. I did some thinking last night. What do I need to do to not only wish this young boy a happy birthday, but the Titans populace, everyone of Tennessee, Nashville, Middle Tennessee, whatever code, dialect, race that you are, everyone's going to come together when they hear those two words. And I realized that you're never going to say it. You're never going to say it.
You know I'm never going to say it. Did you hear the way you laughed when that guy asked me?
Yeah, I knew. I knew that you weren't going to indulge. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make a ransom note version of you saying tighten up.
What do you mean? Like AI?
Like you saying tighten. and then I find you saying up.
I told you yesterday I won't say the word.
No, you won't say Titan? I feel like you say it every day.
No, I don't think that's true.
I'll find one, and then I'll find you saying up. Like when you tell me I messed up, I'll find one of those. And when I do, I will have a copy of you saying tighten up. So everyone out there, if you see him say it, remember the timestamp. Say, hey, Bert, there's a great Titan at 7 minutes and 3 seconds into the show.
I don't say that word. I told you yesterday. I'll say you better, you better get it together. You better screw that in a little more.
The problem is
you better
tighten up and Titan player, Titan officiant, Titan front office member.
Titans.
Now, yeah, I can cut the S off. Yeah, that does not matter to Adobe. I can click and drag, buddy. You're screwed. I'm going to make it. So if anybody wants to help me, I need 2 words. I'm sure he will say Titans at some point, and I can doctor that. But I need up. We need to get him to say up today. So if you want to call in, we can make this a Pee-wee's Playhouse word of the day. Anytime somebody can make Buck say up while Kermit the Frog or hands or whatever. But that's my mission. I'm not going to be working. I'm not going to be going over anything today. I'm just looking for you to say. Yeah, well, it's Tuesday. Come on. I'm still a little tired. But a lot of stuff going on.
So you think it was a plant?
Yeah, I do think it was a plant. Nobody sounds like that. Nobody. Let me try to.
Papaw?
Yeah, it was very papaw. It was very papaw.
Hey, guys. Hope you're doing well today. It's my grandson's birthday.
Hey, guys. How you doing? It's my
grandson's birthday.
It's my grandson's birthday. He listens to the show.
I don't know. That sounds authentic. Like, you can clearly tell. Now, maybe it's because we're hearing it through the phone, so maybe it sounds a little more natural. But, like, you can clearly tell when we're trying to talk like an old man.
Well, maybe he has an old soul.
Okay.
We don't know. But I'll say a Ferris Bueller. If you want to wheel that old man down here and wheel that little youngin down here and show me the body, then I will excuse this absence. I will believe that you are not a phony.
What if I do something nice for Alan and Dixon's grandson? Will that absolve me from having to say this? Because I don't want to say it.
Potentially.
Okay.
What's the nice thing that you would like to do for Alan and Dixon's?
I don't know. I'll think of something. There are options at my disposal.
No, because you're as we learned yesterday, juiceless. You have no pull. You have no clout. You're not able to pull anything out of your hat.
Unless you need to cut a line at a bar.
Well, yes, that was very nice of you. I was glad that we were able to skip that line. But I don't know. I think the audience will be the deciders. 615-737-1045. What can Buck do for Alan's grandson to make
reason.
up?
Within reason.
Nope, they're already calling up. They're already calling. They figured it out.
This is not going to be a situation like where you send me Facebook Marketplace links for saunas that you want me to buy you, or hot tubs or things like that, or I don't know, old Model T cars. Something reasonable. I am more than willing to do something for Alan and Dixon's grandson other than say those 2 words, because I don't want the 7-year-old to have a bad birthday. And if that was going to make or break the birthday, fine. I feel bad, so we'll do something.
Okay. That's nice of you. Look, I don't give you credit. That's growth. That's really grown up of you. So I want to play a really quick edition of Stock Up, Stock Down. Who do you think, give us a stock up really quickly on Titans rosters?
Stock trending in a positive direction.
Dang it. Okay. We don't want stock up. How about just stock down? We'll just do stock down instead of up.
Stock trending in a negative direction.
Were you scared of saying down? Titan down is not a thing.
I don't know what you're doing back there. I'm not sure.
Confusion.
What game?
Confusion. You don't know where. It's like a bunch of zebras standing in a group. You don't know where we start, where we end. You just got to attack the herd.
So a normal show.
Pretty much.
Okay, very good. 615-737-1045 is the number. If you would like to call in at any point, we would be happy to have you. We're going to talk about this Brendan Sorsby story. It's an insane story happening in the world of college football that now also can potentially have tentacles into the NFL. And Trey Wallace at Outkick, once again, has done some excellent reporting on very serious subject matter in the world of college football. So Trey will join us at 11:20 today. We also have, do we have things to give away? Robert's on the phone right now, so we will check in with that shortly.
Dude,
things to give away for
We have killer tickets today.
What do we have today?
Jerry Seinfeld at First Bank Amphitheater.
That is good.
Actually, I had a whole plan. Actually, we don't have anything to give away today, sorry. There's nothing in there, so someone else will have to win the tickets that were previously named that are actually fictitious. It's me. I'm going to see Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, okay.
I bet he's a great show. Like last time we went to a comedy show.
How old is he?
Jerry.
Well, the last comedy show we went, that was not the fault of the comedian. That was the fault of the venue. Bridgestone Arena to see a comedy show is really not ideal.
How old do you think he is?
Jerry Seinfeld, I bet, is 71.
Ooh, I was going to say 68. Let's see. Jerry is, he's 72.
Nailed it.
What do you think his net worth is?
Ooh, that's a good question. Jerry Seinfeld.
Higher. Whatever you're going to say, higher.
A B?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Good for Jerry.
Great for Jerry.
Good for Jerry.
1.1.
1.1 bill. Not bad.
Hide the money, y'all.
Not bad.
There's
So
four
is
people
that
around.
just, does he have other interests beyond syndication? Like, is he producing stuff? Is he directing stuff? Does he have his own production company? I don't know. Like, where is that money coming from? It's not, does he do many endorsements? I don't think that Jerry Seinfeld is out here schlepping trucks and stuff like that. Where is this $1 billion net worth coming from for Jerry Seinfeld?
You got to think about the movies, the money, the cars, comedians in cars getting coffee. Like, he's had a bunch of shows that not only that span farther back than the syndication stuff with Seinfeld. And also that the IP of Seinfeld must be making.
No, well, that's to me the thing that continues to be a cash cow, like an active cash cow that spans across his entire career. Okay, so very good. Jerry Seinfeld tickets at 10:45 today. If you call in at 615-737-1045 and tell us what in sports made you say, oh no, at 10:45. Not yet. So the Sneed story is something to get us started today. So we remember the legal situation that he got into, where he's at a car dealership in Dallas back in late 2024, December of 2024. At that point, he's on injured reserve because I want to say it was maybe about the halfway point, maybe a little less than the halfway point in the season. He, against the Colts at home, took a helmet to the thigh, and the helmet to the thigh was something that was going to cause him to miss a little bit of time, but was not expected to be something that would cause him extended pain or discomfort or injury. So you're thinking, all right, Legarius Sneed, maybe he misses a game with a thigh bruise. He can come back and start to make an impact in his first year for the Titans. And he wasn't overwhelmingly great when he got here, but you understood, all right, it's a player that's going to take some time to get acclimated to a system. He's been in one place for a long period of time, new teammates, new city, all the different things. It's like a rookie coming in their first year. It's disorienting. And, the difference being you're making a crap ton more money when you're a two-time Super Bowl champion and play a premium position and you've just been acquired from a team that needs help and you're going to be a foundational piece. So Sneed goes down in that Colts game and then he just never comes back. It's one of the weirdest things you've ever seen. He's occasionally in the locker room in that 2024 season, and we're just kind of asking him, hey, bud, what's going on here? With no knowledge of the Dallas car dealership incident where he was charged with failure to report a felony under circumstance in which serious bodily injury or death may have resulted, and knowingly failing to immediately report the commission of the offense to a law enforcement officer. So he witnessed a shooting and he didn't say anything about it, is basically what's going on here. And then there was another charge with aggravated assault. All of these things have been dropped in the case of Legarius Sneed, but this happened while he was on injured reserve in his first season with the Titans. Legarius Sneed last year, without the legal situation and also missing a number of games. Robert, out of 114 qualified quarterbacks on Pro Football Focus, where would you say Legarius Sneed ranked last season?
Out of 114?
114 qualified cornerbacks, just cornerbacks.
Let's go 115. 110.
104. So not quite that awful, but
still pretty bad.
Among the worst cornerbacks in professional football. A 50.4 overall grade from Pro Football Focus. 104th among 114 qualified cornerbacks. His coverage grade, 49.5, ranked 102nd out of 114 qualified cornerbacks. He was better, significantly better against the run. 0 interceptions on the season, 0 interceptions as a Titan, broke up one pass in coverage, allowed a passer rating of, do you want to take a guess? You want to take a stab at this? What's a perfect passer rating? 158 something?
There you go, 158.3.
158.3? 137.7, Legarius Sneed, when being targeted by opposing passers last season, a rating of 137.7.
And how many passes did he what?
He broke up one pass in coverage.
Oh, broke it up. Thank you. You said up. It's over with. War is over. Bring the troops home. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Bang! Pow, pow, pow. One segment in. Kroll, go find me at that Titan and up, please. Yes, sir. We are in business. Ladies and gentlemen, it took one segment. Everybody in the chat, we got him. Bang, Jeffrey Mullins. Look, Ronnie Q, 112. Yes, bang, bang, bang. We got him. We got him. Oh, it's over.
I'm not happy about this.
Yeah, it'll be on the board before the next segment starts. I'm probably going to mix a bump together with you going, tighten up, bum, 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 bum. Tighten up.
Like one of those terrible pregame songs. Oh, okay. Very good. Legarius Sneed, all charges dropped in this situation, which doesn't make him a better football player. And I'd be curious to know if Legarius Sneed is on a roster in 2026. But as far as all that goes, just could not be less of a value add to a roster that he was on for, I mean, if you want to give him credit for 2 full seasons, you can, if you want to.
Yeah, upwards of a year and a half. I was going to ask you what your favorite Pixar movie involving an old man and balloons was.
Is there another one that I could use that would be funny? That would be great if I just pulled one.
James and the Giant Peach
right?
or
Like
something.
Someone's got balloons, old men and balloons. We'll take your phone calls coming up next. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to participate at any point. Also, a strength of schedule ranking has come out without knowing the dates. There's some schedule information that's worth knowing here about the NFL, so we'll dive into that. I'm Buck Rising, 1045 The Zone. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world, 615-737-1045. The number if you want to jump in. If I asked you to take a guess where the earliest Vegas win total projections were for the Titans, like where Vegas was projecting or how many wins Vegas was projecting the Titans to win, an over-under in 2026. What would you guess? 615-737-1045 is how you jump in. In the meantime, you are welcome to participate if you want to. You can also get yourself involved in the F&M Bank chat. Robert Walsh, I pose that question to you.
I would.
5.5 was the projected win total in 2025. They, of course, went under.
I'll go 6.5.
They are projected to win 6.5 games.
Wow. Good for
by
them.
Las Vegas, yes. the rare, that is the most moral victory of all moral victories. Yeah. An advancement in your projected win total that you may or may not exceed.
Do you have the rest of the AFC South win totals in front? Do you have like every team's or is it just the Titans?
I do have every team. So
where does that rank in the AFC South?
That would rank. I've got them all together, so you're going to have to give me a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
Let's see. I've got. Is that second? Oh no, I'm sorry. This is alphabetical, so this is not.
Okay.
This is not allowing me, or rather, it's strength of schedule rank. So yeah, you're going to have to give me a second so I can figure this out.
It's okay. It's not important. I can work on that while you do your part.
Okay. Anyway, so the Titans 6.5 games. Would you bet over or under 6.5 games in 2026? Now, what we don't know, and this is of some relevance to the audience, it sounds like they're going to push the schedule release back. We know the opponents, home and road, that the Titans will play. We don't know, and who all teams will play based on how they finished last year, based on who they were scheduled to play, which divisions in their respective rotations. So we know home and away opponents, but we do not have specific dates. We do not have prime time. We do not have day parts anywhere. Black Friday, all these different things that we're spreading games across. We do have a number of international games that have been announced with opponents and dates associated with that, season openers and things like that, but we don't have the full NFL schedule, and it sounds like May 18th is when they're thinking about pushing the schedule release back to. So something, or at least that week, something to keep an eye on. So while we're looking at strength of schedule and things like that, it's really tough to determine how much more difficult a schedule could get or how much easier a schedule could get based on travel, short rest, all the different things, international games, all the different things that teams will have to figure out once the schedule is officially released, and how we can start to judge them a little more tough. But I think that when you look at the Titans and their strength of schedule, ranking right about middle of the pack, it's an imperfect metric or measurement to do right now, because a lot of times it's lazy to just look at what a team finished last year, decide how that team or whether that team's finish last year is going to hold any weight whatsoever in the following season when rosters turn over and coaching staffs turn over the way that they do. But it's also made difficult because a 17-game season is a pretty small sample size. So Warren Sharp has gone about putting this strength of schedule metric together prior to us having the actual dates and locations of these games by just based off Vegas win total projections before we get the actual dates. Were you able to find the rest of the AFC South?
I was, yeah. So they would be technically last in the AFC South,
okay,
just based off projected win totals. The Texans are in first with 9.5. The Jaguars also have 9.5, and the Colts are one technical game in front of them at 7.5.
I'm seeing 8.5 on this sharp football analysis for the Colts.
It could have changed.
Are we looking at the same website?
No, we're not. We are not.
Okay, yeah, no,
I've looked at a secondary source, and I also see 8.5.
Okay, so just for the purposes of this conversation, the article that we're getting ready to talk about has, as you mentioned, both the Texans and the Jags at 9.5, the Colts at 8.5, the Titans at 6.5. So we'll just use that as an operating. Which, also, I struggle with the Colts at 8.5 because who the hell is playing quarterback for them? next season. I mean, Richardson's on the roster. Daniel Jones is under contract, but that's not something that's expected to be resolved. Colts getting a lot of credit for making best case scenario out of what they had last season, but I just 8.5 for Indy feels high. Should we use the 7.5? 7.5 feels more fair.
I think 8.5 is the number that would get business on both sides.
Okay.
To where you could say, 8.5. Like, what if Daniel Jones gets hurt? I would take the under. Or people that are like, Daniel Jones is going to return to form. The defense in a better spot. Lou Anarumo's second year.
Are they expecting him to start the season, Daniel Jones?
That's a great question.
I mean, he probably could, coming off an Achilles, but I wouldn't feel good about that. I mean, I guess it depends on just, what the medical staff clears him for, what the potential recurrence of an injury could be, how well he's recovered to this point. I know people's bodies are different from one another, so it doesn't have to be like a set timeline for Daniel Jones, but that would be pretty optimistic for me. I know it was halfway through the season. No, towards the end, right? Because he was playing on the fibula fracture.
Right, on the 3D printed brace.
And then the Achilles tear happened.
So we got an update from the Colts on March 12th. Quarterback Daniel Jones spoke to the media on Thursday for the first time after his re-signing with the Colts and says that he expects to be fully ready to play as the Colts starting quarterback in Week 1 of the 2026 season, if not sooner. The 28-year-old is just a few months removed from sustaining a season-ending Achilles injury, but he's feeling just about as good as he possibly can. Quote, I'm very confident in being back to 100% and being ready to go. End quote. Jones says Thursday, quote, I'm in a good spot. I'm on schedule. I think from everything the doctors are telling me, trainers, rehab, PTs, I think I'm in a good spot. I've hit my mark and still have to continue to do that. It's just a process. You kind of just keep checking these boxes and keep progressing as the rehab protocol lays out. So I'll stick to that, but I feel good with where I am right now. See, the quote from him as he continues to ramble sounds,
optimistic.
Yes, very optimistic that he would be ready to go for Week 1.
Over under 6.5. So for what it's worth, just because we do know Titans opponents in 2026, 6.5, an improvement from last year's 5.5. For what it's worth, the home opponents are Houston, Indy, Jacksonville, Cleveland, the Jets, the Eagles, the Steelers, and the Commanders. Away, obviously the other three AFC South teams. They are at Baltimore, at Cincinnati, at Dallas, at Detroit, at Vegas again, and at the Giants.
Ooh, you're going to be going to Baltimore. Ravens fans going to Baltimore, or Titans fans going to Baltimore.
I love Baltimore.
Dude, you're going to have to go to, are you going to have time to go to the pregame with me, to the tailgate?
No.
What do you mean? You don't want to go see Jimmy's Seafood, double fist, double tequila sodas with me?
No, I'll go to Jimmy's Seafood with you the night before.
Okay.
Are you going to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, yes, I'm going. Yes.
You can't stay with me.
What? I don't want to stay with you. I stay at the Inner Harbor.
I do too.
At the Marriott.
I do too.
There's two of them. They ain't gonna know. It's the nice one. That'll be fun. Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was here for some reason.
I was hoping it was here because I think it would be fun to have Derrick Henry back here. But no, Titans going to Baltimore next year. By the way, did you see who has the highest projected win totals next year in the NFL?
I saw that the Ravens were one of them.
It's the Ravens and the Rams tied for 11.5, an over-under of 11.5. I wouldn't feel good about that. 11.5 is crazy.
I don't either.
Crazy.
They do have one of the easier strength of schedules, which I think plays into it, but 11.5 is always going to be tough in the AFC North. I don't give a damn who the Steelers quarterback or who the Browns coach is.
They're high on all of these. 9.5 for the Bengals? I mean, I guess you're giving Joe Burrow benefit of the doubt, but it's been a couple of years since we've seen him play a full season. Their defense, maybe it just all comes together.
They spent a lot of money. I mean, Boye Mafe, Brian Cook, they brought a ton of dudes in.
I don't know. I'm in such prove-it mode with the Bengals right now, even as, of course, I'm high on Justin Jefferson, on Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. 9.5 feels pretty up there. Elsewhere, out of curiosity, Patriots 9.5, Broncos 9.5, Niners, Eagles, Lions, Packers, Chargers, all 10.5 in 2026. So very bullish on on just basically every NFL club. I'm trying to see who has the lowest here. Raiders 5.5, Dolphins 4.5, Cardinals 4.5 projected over-unders according to Vegas right now, before we have the official dates of these games and where they're split in the schedule. People in the chat are suggesting that you and I split an Airbnb in Baltimore. No. No, we will not be doing that.
Yeah, I have things to do. Buck may be the big dog around here, but I am Baltimore Burt up there, and I have appearances to keep up, and I can't be schlepping it with the pores. Does it surprise you? And this is a conversation we're going to get into later in the show. I believe it's around 12:20 we're going to do this. The Titans last year, 5.5 win total. The Raiders this year, 5.5 win total. You think that's a little odd? Do you feel like I feel like the Raiders are in a better position to win early than the Titans were last year, but we can dive more into that at 12:20 in the third hour.
Okay. 615-737-1045 is how you jump in. We'll get to your phone calls here in just a second. So as far as the over-under on 6.5, and again, I'm sure this will change once we do have more information about the schedule itself, 6.5 feels right. It's worth noting, though, that Robert Saleh's never won more than 7 games as an NFL head coach. And I get that the Jets come with just a level of understanding that, yeah, nobody's going to do well there. And Robert Saleh's probably done as well there as anybody has since Rex Ryan and Mark Sanchez were going to the AFC Championship game. But Robert Saleh has never achieved at a higher level than 7-10 as an NFL head coach. So 6.5, if he was able to get close to that in his first year with the level of roster deficiencies that the Titans do have, they've tried to address a bunch. They've tried a number of ways. I think they're going to be, at minimum, more competitive, because last year was an atrocity where they looked lifeless from almost the jump. I mean, they put up a little bit of a fight in Denver at the end, and Calvin Ridley with the drops at the end that made Cam Ward's father slump over in despair on a third down drop in week 1. You had injuries as well. So there were reasons why it looked the way that it looked, and then there were just no explanation that was justifiable for how much worse they got from 2024 to 2025. I do think Brian Daboll helps. I do think Gus Bradley and Bones Fossil and Saleh getting another crack at this thing helps. I do think having more veterans on the roster, the way that they've just kind of put half of this together in free agency and trades, do think that helps support the young players who are going to come in here and have to play a lot of football. I'm still going to go under 6.5. I think anything less than 5, to me, is a huge red flag. 6 should be the operating baseline. That's, again, I cannot lower the bar for them anymore. 6 games is not Mount Kilimanjaro. You have to be able to put up a fight after 4 years of nonsense and show that the things that you've done with your roster in the time since John Robinson has been gone, the 4 years since John Robinson has been gone, are not also more of the same. You have to put up a fight.
Because if they win 6, that means that they were probably in 3, 4, 5 more. And if you're in 9 to 10 games this year, if you're in and have a chance to win over half of your games, that's a win to me. That is a successful season in Cam Ward's sophomore year for me. But I wonder what it is for Titans fans. 615-737-1045. If you think we're too low on the team, give us a call. We'd like to hear from you.
Bob, Uncle Bob, is in Nashville.
Hey, thanks for taking the call. No, it was funny. It's like Price is Right when somebody bids 1,000 and say, well, I'll bid 1,001.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go with 7, you know. I'm hoping I have a better year, and maybe they'll get things pulled together. And I'll go with 7, and thanks for taking the call.
Always a pleasure, Bob.
Love you,
Thank
Bob.
you for the call. No
You
response.
hung up on him. It's okay. Bob does love me. Bob comes to everything we do.
He really does.
We love Uncle Bob.
Yes.
Stellar human.
Great taste in bourbon, too, and cars.
Dude, he
For what
is
it's
a
worth.
slick dude. When he comes out of that car, you know who it is. It is Uncle Bob.
If they won 7 games, I would be as optimistic about the trajectory of the Titans as I've been at any point since, 21 when they signed Julio or when they traded for Julio?
If they win 7 games, it will be the most fun season I have had since I got here in 2022.
That's sad.
It's
But you know what? There's a lot of people that work over there that have never seen a winning season for them because they've been so just horrendous and not just bad, not just screwing around. All right, you ended up on the under 500 side of a bunch of one-score games. No, they've been getting their asses kicked for a long time. Because you bring up the point about one-score games, that was the thing that was jaw-dropping to me. They were losing by double digits almost on a weekly basis. You couldn't believe how often, how regularly they were just getting their skulls caved in. And you said, how could this be possible? And it's really the first time in now, this will be my 10th season, at any point since I've covered that team where I've looked at a roster and said, oh, they just don't care about going out there and competing in a meaningful way. And that's not something that I'd throw out there carelessly. I remember talking to Blaine about it on the pregame show and just be like, what do I do with that? When they look like they have no fight. And players were actively accusing them. And not even in like a ribbing way. It's just Michael Pittman casually saying, yeah, they came out of the tunnel, they had no juice. We thought we could get them.
It was damning. Wasn't that like week 3?
It was like week 3. Week 3 at home. They came out of the tunnel. We knew. We knew before they took a snap that this was a team that we could handle. So, if you can fight off those allegations and win 7 games, man, what a breath of fresh air that would be.
We have a comment in the chat says, would Buck say tighten up if we won 7 games?
No.
Could it be a bet?
No.
Come on.
No.
8?
No.
If they go to the playoffs?
There is no scenario in which you are going to get me to say
If
those
they
two
win the
words
Super Bowl
organically together. No.
If they win the Super Bowl
No.
on the Friday before.
I'll probably be pissy because I'll be there all week and I won't get to go to the parties and I'll actually have to work the Super Bowl. And unlike what I normally get to do, which is just
dude,
bounce around.
I'm here to tell you that if they go to the Super Bowl, you will not be pissy because we will have had the best year for this show, for this station, for everyone that works in sports media in this town. You will be on cloud 9. You will be glowing.
That's fine, but I still wouldn't say it.
We would get AI. It's all right. I would find AI a way for you to say it.
Under no circumstances. Are you
Jerry
gonna get me
Seinfeld
to
tickets. It's okay.
organically
Let's
say that?
talk about positive stuff. What made you say, oh, no, in sports this week, your chance to win Jerry Seinfeld tickets?
Well, just quickly, do you want to maybe do that at 11 o'clock since we've kind of run over here?
That's cool. We can push it to 11. Don't call now. If you call now, I'll ban you forever, and you'll never be able to call this station again.
Let's do the Jerry Seinfeld tickets giveaway at 11 o'clock, and we will talk about Titans UDFAs that can potentially make the roster next.
It is about that time for your lunch break, which means Hattie B's Hot Chicken should be in your very near future. At any one of their Middle Tennessee locations on Broadway, the Factory at Franklin, Melrose, Midtown, West Nashville. Even if you're in Geodis Park watching Nashville Soccer Club, you can enjoy Hattie B's Hot Chicken. And the best part is they make it so easy if you download the Hattie B's app. Do you like free things? Do you like free banana pudding? Download the Hattie B's app and you tack on a free banana pudding to your order for pickup or delivery from any one of Hattie B's Middle Tennessee locations. You can do the same at HattieB.com, and you'll be amazed at how generous Hattie B's is at stacking those rewards. Get on it now. Fast forward a few months, and you will be stacked with some free Hattie B's Hot Chicken and bonuses via the app. Looking for a healthy option? The Southern salads are to die for. 2 words, cornbread croutons. Yes, you heard that right. Hot or not, whatever works for you. I would never lead you astray when it comes to food. Go to Hattie B today.
Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. We're going to give away Jerry Seinfeld tickets in 10 minutes from now. If you call in, 615-737-1045, and tell us what in sports made you say, oh no. UDFAs, 11 of them. 58 tryout players at rookie minicamp this week, or this past week, this weekend. Of the 11 UDFAs, if you want to get into tryouts, I guess we could do that, but I'd rather not. Let's just stick to players that are on the roster.
Agreed.
Of the 11 UDFAs that have signed deals, for what it's worth, I have not yet seen any announcement, any reporting on tryout players that were signed by the Titans. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but as of Tuesday, no information yet. I am getting stuck on a couple of different positions here because they are really light in the secondary. And so that is where I'm probably going to focus most of my attention. There are a number of interesting players that they have brought in as UDFAs, and Robert Solowin asked about the secondary, the idea that I think it's only the third time in the Titans era, surely not in franchise history, but certainly in the Titans era, where they have not drafted at least one secondary player. So no safeties, no corners this year. Understanding they signed 3 in free agency, they can still add players after the draft. So Bishop Fitzgerald is going to be a popular submission for a guy that you think has a shot to make the initial 53. Doesn't mean that he has to be still on the roster 8 weeks in or whatever, but just when the roster is cut down by September the 9th or 11th or whenever we're kicking off the rest of the NFL season outside of the Wednesday Seahawks start. Bishop Fitzgerald, the safety from USC, he's 22 years old, 5'11", 201, comes in here and is going to try and compete for a spot. Now, I could not say that I noticed him overwhelmingly at rookie minicamp over the weekend. I was watching a number of different players, a lot of different drills. I know a lot of drills came under criticism, or one specific drill came under criticism from Friday's practice. But Bishop Fitzgerald, to me, feels like he's going to be a popular submission to this question. I'd also probably go with Jaden Lucas, the corner, if for no other reason than you can probably just give it a run this season. He's a really long athlete, 6'2", 205, 22 years old at a Clemson. Did not have an overwhelming amount of success at Clemson. In fact, he saw his role reduced from 2024 to the 2025 season. He did not make nearly as many starts. But corner and safety feels like a safe spot for me to look at and say, yeah, they could stand to keep an extra player there, given that there's going to be a lot of teams that prioritize corner and offensive line when we finally get down to waiver claims and things like that.
I think it's good for the Titans, though, to have spots where we're like, it's going to be tough for a UDFA to make this roster. I mean, I think that's a much a needed improvement over what it has been, where guys could make it as a UDFA because the overall talent was lower. Like, you're in a good spot if it's hard for UDFAs to make your roster. But if you had to pin your ears back on one guy that Buck is going to say, I think this is the guy that is going to be up for the challenge, who do you think that would be?
You know, not knowing enough about, like, the competitors that they are, I'd probably say this Tyron Montgomery guy. Because his story is insane.
Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, he's the former basketball player, didn't start playing football until he was 19 years old. He's 24 years old, so obviously he's significantly older as a rookie. But when he finally got around to playing college football, he was a badass. And I think somebody with one of those kind of stories, I'm sure Compton has talked about this. Will Compton has talked about the undrafted mentality, right? And how that can be different from a guy, like in any walk of life. People who have had success, maybe not necessarily handed to them, but who have had success come easier to them because they've just got more gifts. They've got more things at their disposal to make whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish work versus the people that have to fight and scrap and claw for everything that they get. The undrafted mentality, right? Nobody embodies that more than this dude who basically had his younger brother convince him, hey, you should maybe try and play football. You should maybe try and play college football. Found different ways to extend his eligibility, like really fought to have an opportunity to do this. Now he's finally in an NFL, not quite camp, but he's in an NFL offseason program and could find his way into training camp. If you're asking me to bet on a dude, I'm going to bet on the dude that people perpetually have bet against.
Did you see the part of his story where, God, I can never remember what this word is, but back when he was still in college, he was actually dating Doja Cat, and they almost got married, but he asked her to sign, what is it called when you ask somebody to sign something, and that way you get to keep your half of the things?
Dang
it. Thought that would work.
A pre-agreement. Pre-wedding agreement.
It's a prenup. Say prenup. Say prenup. I need you to say up.
Pre-agreement. Pre-wedding agreement. Premarital agreement.
You're a scoundrel. You're despicable. It was all a lie, by the way. He didn't date Doja Cat. I was just trying to get you to say that.
I know, buddy. We are going to give away Jerry Seinfeld tickets. If you can call in 615-737-1045. Give us the thing in sports that made you say, oh, no, next.
What's going on? 11:02. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mid Kentucky Down studio. I am Robert Walsh. In former Titans news, Adam Schefter reports this morning that Dallas-based criminal defense attorney Michael J. Todd announced that all criminal charges against his client, former Chiefs and Titans cornerback Legarius Sneed, have been dismissed. Sneed originally was charged with aggravated assault that was reduced by the grand jury to a misdemeanor offense of failure to report the commission of a felony. The state of Texas dismissed the misdemeanor completely Friday, which Todd says leaves Sneed without conviction or admission of any kind. In other NFL news, veteran edge Dante Fowler Jr. is signing with the Seahawks on a one-year deal up to $5 million. Fowler spent last season with the Cowboys, starting 11 games, finishing with 20 pressures and 3 sacks. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. Now to Oh No on 104.5 The Zone. Oh, no!
For the opportunity to win 2 tickets to Jerry Seinfeld at First Bank Amphitheater, 615-737-1045. What in sports made you say, oh, no? The Knicks won by 39 last night against the 76ers. It's game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. And looking at the way that the Knicks celebrate and the way that people in New York take to the streets every time the Knicks do anything, it is the rare team in New York that everybody gets behind, right? Because you're either a Yankees or a Mets fan in New York. You're either a Jets or a Giants fan in New York. But it feels like, nobody's going to say, yeah, I root for the Brooklyn Nets. No. It's the Knicks, right? So the Knicks win by 39 last night. And what happens after that is the fans take to the streets. And who's out there? None other than J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith is in the streets celebrating with the fans. He's having a big time. And then all of a sudden, the celebration gets a little too rowdy. J.R. Smith is on the ground, goes crashing to the ground in these videos, and you can just hear J.R. Smith yelling out, "Relax, man, relax," like people are, I'm sure it's suffocating. It's claustrophobic. He's on the ground in the middle of a crowd that's losing their mind because they just beat the snot out of Philadelphia. That made me say, oh, no. Got to be safe. Got to protect J.R. Smith.
I wonder if he's still – did you know that after his NBA career was kind of at the end, he ended up going to – he still had college what am I looking for?
Eligibility.
You're like, I know I can say that. There ain't up in that word.
I'm wise to your game, the way that you're trying to play this game now.
He still had college eligibility, and he went to UNCG, which is University of Greensboro, to join the golf team.
Right, I remember that.
I wonder if he is still playing golf or if he ever got his deal. What made me say, oh, no, is we got an article out of Pro Football Talk, I believe it was last night or early this morning, alleging that Diana Rossini would eventually tell her side of the story. And what my oh no would be is if she did not do that, if she didn't come out and tell the whole story from her point of view. Because if she doesn't do that, then these narratives, these pictures, the tabloids, the articles, everyone following this story are free to come up with whatever narrative they want. And if she wants to get a hold of this and get a hold of the story and stop letting people run with this, then I think it would be wise for her to come out and say, hey, this is what happened. I understand that I may be looked at differently in sports or I may be looked at differently, but you guys have already made your mind up about what I am. So here's what really happened, and if you still want to judge me, then judge me, but I'm going to tell the truth. I think it would be a detriment if she did not do that. That would be my own no. I think she has to.
I don't know.
Not has to.
Well, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I get your perspective. From my standpoint, though, I don't know, whatever she wants to do with this, it's her right to do what she wants to, however she chooses to approach this. I'm the only way that I can think about it is from my standpoint. Would I want to continue to create story around this? Or would I just take the approach of, I'll just go away. We'll never speak on it again. You'll never hear from me again. She deleted her social media. I guess she could come back and.
Yeah, but what kind of a life is that to live where, like, every time you go out to eat now, you worry that someone's going to.
Think people would eventually forget?
Eventually forget, sure, but that time is not now. We're going into the dead time when people are going to continue to churn this because it's getting clicks and people are watching it and listening to it. And I just think at the end of the day, do you want to hide and be afraid of the outside world for the rest of your life, for the rest of your children's lives? Or do you just want to come out here and wear it on your chest like the scarlet letter that it would be looked at, get it over with, take a bite out of the bleep sandwich, and let's move on? Okay, like whatever it is. Me and Mike loved each other at one point. Or, I don't know. That's the whole point. We don't know. And that's why people are free to come up with whatever narrative. Oh, your son is Mike's son. Or you made Spotify playlists. Or
that is, okay, one of those things happened and the other thing has been online speculation. I think it's important to, especially when we're talking about alleged paternity.
Either way. That's my point, is that all of these stories can come out and continue to have legs because there doesn't have to be merit behind them because you're not denying it, Mike's not denying it, no one's saying anything either way. We're free to speculate. But if you come out and say it, that would be the end of it, I think. I think it would die on the vine. It would be cool for a couple weeks because we would know details, but then it would be done.
The only way it would have died on the vine is if one of them was honest on the front end of this. Like the way to kill it is past to me, because now it's a perpetual gotcha story. We can talk more about this later because I want to get into the details of that Pro Football Talk article. Just bad situation.
And I don't mean that maliciously. Like I for everyone involved, mostly the kids and the people that have no bearing on this story, like the people that are being hurt by this that had nothing to do with it, those are the people that I would like to get some reprieve and some a moment of brevity that they can just say, okay, donezo. But maybe they don't want their mom telling this story. I don't know. It's not my story to tell.
They're not old enough to,
get it.
Joey and Mikey aren't old enough to have any grasp of this. I don't think that Mikey was post-COVID, so he's 5, 6.
Okay.
That's
who I feel the worst for in this whole thing.
Yeah, for sure. I guess if you hope for anything on the human side of this is that, there were choices made that are poor, to say the least, on a number of fronts, but that it doesn't continue to have a residual impact on the 4 children on both sides of this thing that are involved. The Vrabel's kids are significantly older than Diana's kids, so I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do in any of this story is. It's tough. All right, 615-737-1045 for the opportunity to win some Seinfeld tickets. Remember to stay on hold once we take your submission so Robert can get back in touch with you. Let's go with Dan in Lewisburg.
Hey, guys. How y'all doing today?
Well, thank you.
Good. I tell you what, there must be some in the Kool-Aid, the water that these college athletes are drinking. We got the one guy on the gambling. The new one up is the Minnesota quarterback. His name is Drake Lindsay, and he's an Arkansas native. Well, he was visiting back home. He is caught with a fake ID, consuming alcohol, being at the age of 20. Now, why do you try to get a fake ID? I mean, the old school way was, you try to get somebody older to get it for you. But I cannot believe it the way these guys are today. They're making all this money, and he pulled a dumb butt like this and fake ID and drinking and got caught. So, oh no.
Thank you for the call, Dave.
Drake Lindsay set the record for most wins by a freshman with 8 last year at Minnesota.
Yeah, no, it's apparently that's the 4th time in 5 seasons where Minnesota has been able to have an 8-win season. And to Robert's point, Drake Lindsay is promising. So it's an unfortunate decision by him. I would say that qualifies as a no-no.
Yeah, just drink at house parties, dude. Then you turn 21, then you can go to bars.
Yeah. Taylor is in Nashville.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is my first time calling in. I appreciate you taking my call. The biggest no, I've been thinking about this for the last week because I can't get it out of my head, is it was Game 6 on April 30th between the Knicks and the Hawks. The Hawks came in riding really high coming in the playoffs, won 20 out of 22 games, something like that. But they didn't just lose. They got absolutely obliterated. I have never seen a score like that in an NBA game before. I mean, I would be so embarrassed to get tickets to that game and sit there and watch what unfolded. At one point, the halftime lead was 74-27.
Yeah, that's pretty.
The largest in NBA playoff history. I mean, I felt like I was watching a WNBA game. I mean, that is just ridiculous.
Thank you for the call, Taylor. We appreciate it. It's a good submission. 140-89 was that Game 6 result. I was talking to an Atlanta fan the next day at my gym, and he was just like, should have known better. Should have known better than to buy into Atlanta sports. Atlanta sports, always disappointing. And that was, I mean, yeah, he's just flat out laid down. Is it Joshua or Josiah? What did you spell there?
It's Joshua, but can you name one Hawk right now?
Oh, what a great question. Because Trae Young obviously is traded, and that's why they went on that run. They're playing a better style of basketball. I didn't watch a lot of Hawks games this year, no.
C.J. McCollum was the only one that I knew. And even looking at this list
and obviously I wouldn't have guessed that C.J. McCollum was on the Hawks right now.
Yeah, that's well, they didn't play that great. So that might be part of the reason why they were on
I think they won like 14 in a row or something like that to end the season. Again, I wasn't, admittedly, I wasn't watching Atlanta basketball, but I knew that they had success since Trae Young had been traded. But no, I couldn't name a Hawk at this point. Joshua is in Gallatin.
Hey, guys. Name a Hawk, Bryce Young. All right, but my no, I got so many, but I'm just going to go with this one. I'm a diehard Falcons fan, and the moment when they decided to rush in the Super Bowl instead of kick the field goal, which would have won, was one of my all-time no moments of sports. Most recent is when the Cardinals picked Love, of course, instead of Titans getting them.
Okay. So neither of those are within the last week, but we appreciate the submissions.
And Bryce Young is a Panther, not a Hawk. But that's okay. Same division. NFC South, he was close.
No.
He was close. It's like my dad. If my dad even named a player, I would be happy.
No, what?
Give me a football player, Dad. Give me a name.
Just, he like, you could clearly tell that he was, and I know it's not the easiest thing to call in if you've never been on like talk radio or something like that, so I don't want to bully people, but like clearly leaking confidence right out of the gate, and then said you want a Hawk? That's a Hawk. No, that's not actually a Hawk. That's a Panther. Doug is in New York? Okay.
He's a New York transplant.
Okay, very good.
Hey, guys. My biggest no by far, I'm sorry I didn't know it was supposed to be for within the past week, is whenever I see my beloved New York Giants quarterback Jackson Dart tuck the ball in and start to scramble. I see like my future pass before my eyes.
Okay, appreciate the submission.
Yeah, he's handsome though, isn't he, Doug? Why'd you put him up? You just hang up on people now?
It's got to be within the last week.
I get it, but they're playing with
We've been doing this for how long?
It's okay.
For 6 years,
He wasn't
we've been
going to
doing
win.
this.
You just got to give him a little medal.
I know, but these are so bad, these calls.
We got 2 more. They can redeem themselves.
Eric in Springfield.
Hey, good morning, guys. So this was going to be my dumbest thing in sports, but I got to get rid of it. And it could be in the same category as oh no, because it really did make me say oh no. But it was at the install. It was great. Had a great time Friday, but I was sitting front or second row, right where they do the answers or the question that is. And as you know, Buck, the gentleman that came up had his notepad, kept stumbling over his words. And then when he finally got to his question, said Cam Ward was a bust at Washington State. We should have never drafted him, and we should have drafted Kyle McCord. And then hearing Greg Cosell just straight up go, what? It was just hilarious. It was some of the worst secondhand embarrassment I've ever had. Even my girlfriend who was with me doesn't even know that much about football. She was so, cringed out. And whenever he left, she was like, he wasn't being serious, right? And I was like, I hope he wasn't. So yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for that video to come out where I can probably see myself just putting my hands on top of my head because that's literally what happened. It was a big oh no moment.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
it was a good oh no moment.
That's a good one. See?
That was a good submission. Well done by Eric in Springfield. All right. So we're between Dan with Drake Lindsay. It's Taylor, right? It's the game 6. I mean, the question at the install was bad and, yes, very secondhand cringeworthy. But the Knicks beating the Hawks 140-89 is the definition of, oh, no. Like, what happened here?
Woof.
He just don't show up at all. All right, very good. Congratulations to Taylor. He's going to Seinfeld. Trey Wallace of Outkick next. If your energy's off, if things aren't working like they used to, you're not alone. It happens to a lot of guys as you get up there in age, your body starts to change. And the Tennessee Men's Clinic, powered by Men's Pro, is here to help you. What you will love about them is that they've been doing this for years. They're not just the newest fly-by-night place or sketchy online pill. You're working with true medical providers that will run labs, build a plan around you, and not give you some one-size-fits-all treatment. They treat low performance, easy for me to say, ED, weight loss, and even peptides like NAD+. Their treatments have worked for thousands of men in the Middle Tennessee area, and most guys say they wish they would have come in sooner. Right now, your lab panel and consultation are just $99. So call them today at 615-208-9090. That's 615-208-9090, or go and book your appointment online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Trey Wallace, always doing intrepid reporting for Outkick.com in the world of college football. It just feels like a never-ending cycle of insanity to cover the world of college sports and specifically college football in the NIL era. But this Brendan Sorsby story is as bizarre as anything we've seen. Trey has a piece up at Outkick.com right now that you can read for yourself, some additional reporting that he's done around the situation. The Texas Tech quarterback that is now in jeopardy of losing his eligibility and could potentially declare for the supplemental draft in the NFL because of a self-described gambling addiction that is causing him to seek treatment, including betting on games and totals of his own team while he was on the Indiana football roster as a redshirt. Trey Wallace joins us now. Are you exhausted of all these different stories? Wait, you went to school for journalism, I assume.
Yeah.
At what point in your journalistic tenure covering the world of sports did you think, oh, no, I'm going to have to learn more about criminal law, about civil law, about NFL rules and regulations? Like, you feel like you are having to learn all of this or trying to learn all of this on the fly, doing an exceptional job, by the way, but I have to imagine you're kind of tired.
Buddy, I didn't know I was going to be a White House correspondent, a law review, sitting in courtrooms. Buddy, we didn't have Twitter when I was in college. Like, social media was MySpace, Facebook, in the beginning. Like, you're figuring it all out as you go. In regards to this, I mean, it's always something new. I mean, over the last couple of years, it's been house settlement. It's been litigation. Obviously, house settlement stuff is still going on. But you look at the gambling aspect in college athletics and where we're at now with Sorsby, there's a reason why you went out and hired Jeffrey Kessler. And if you don't know who attorney Jeffrey Kessler is, if you live in the NASCAR world, he represented 2311 Racing against NASCAR in their lawsuit and essentially won. I know they settled, but they won. He represented the House plaintiffs against the NCAA. So that's why all these players are making a bunch of money right now. And also, look, obviously there's been more. But Sorsby has gone out and hired him, retained him in the fight against the NCAA. And the reason why he has done this, Buck, is in a sense, if he cannot mitigate down a punishment with the NCAA, meaning, hey, NCAA, please don't hit me for the entire season, they're going to sue them. And they're going to sue them in a Lubbock court. And they're going to try to get a local judge to be like, you know what? Okay, I don't like the NCAA, no matter if you bet on your own team, allegedly, while you were at Indiana or not. Because, guys, I mean, I don't care if you bet on the UFC or Major League Baseball, like, whatever. I really don't care. But you can't bet on your own team. And that's what it comes down to. I don't care if it was $1, $3, $5, $10. It doesn't really matter. It's the fact that you did, allegedly. So that is where we kind of, I think over the next 3 weeks, you're going to see some movement when it comes to the NCAA. Now, mind you, the NCAA has not been able to talk to Brendan Sorsby in person because he is in a rehab facility. I've been told that he's going to send them a nice letter. Okay, I guess that will go well. But again, that's the other reason why, Buck, that he hired Jeffrey Kessler, to see what kind of negotiations can be done with the NCAA. And if it doesn't work, I don't know what judge, and I'm just speaking, this is my opinion here. I don't know what judge can look at this and say, okay, the NCAA is in the wrong for punishing you for rules that have been in place about potentially gambling on your own team. This is not an eligibility case like Trinidad Chambliss or Joey Aguilar or Charles Betty. This is completely different. You would have to argue that the NCAA is somehow, their rules are antiquated. That's what you would have to argue when it comes to gambling. And guys, from what I've been told, it's pretty cut and dry. And I think that, in the NCAA, Buck, you can't gamble on sports that there would be in the professional model. So, don't do MLB. You could probably try out the PGA if you wanted to. You can bet on the UFC, horse racing. Okay, fine. But you can't bet on pro football. You can't bet on pro basketball. And that's where I have, I don't have a lot of sympathy for Brendan Sorsby in a sense of, buddy, you knew the rules. You knew the rules when you're 18 years old. If you were betting online, you knew it was against the law. And then also at the same time, right or wrong. Like, not to bet on your own football team, even if you're on the bench and you're not throwing a snap. So a lot of this just comes down to logic, Buck, and I'm fascinated to see how Jeffrey Kessler tries to argue this one.
Do we have any indication, any insight as to who first discovered Brendan Sorsby's problems with gambling? At what point that they came to light? Or all of a sudden are people looking around being like, oh, the quarterback is saying he needs to go to rehab for a gambling addiction? Where is the origin of this story coming out?
Here's your two parts. The tip to the NCAA came anonymously, but there's a caveat, and I'm not jumping to any conclusions, and folks don't go crazy on me on social media. I've been told Cincinnati at least knew that there was some type of betting going on before the 2025 season. Now, that could mean he was betting on UFC, betting on the ponies. It didn't have to be that he was betting on Indiana while he was in school. I promise you, that would have already come to light. There are betting integrity companies out there that their job is to make sure that part is not happening. The fact that came to light tells me, my opinion, he was using somebody else's name to place these bets because he couldn't log in as Brendan Sorsby. Here's my date of birth and social security number. If he was 18, 19 years old, he can't do it. So that tells me that he was betting under somebody else's name, and then that part got to the NCAA. Look, I mean, the fact that you could know is one thing. The fact that somebody could then turn that into the NCAA is a whole different ballgame. And, I don't think it helps, being honest. I don't think it helps that Brendan Sorsby's lawyers decided to file a motion to dismiss the NIL lawsuit that was brought forth by Cincinnati on the same day all of this came out.
Yeah.
Because all that does is say, again, me as a person, not as a reporter, all that does to me is say, well, Cincinnati turned him in because he wasn't going to pay the $1 million buyout. That's the conclusion people can jump to. So timing was horrible on all of this. It's never going to be good. But at the same time, there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and I'm not going to come on here for certain and say it was one school or one booster or one donor, but I will say this: a lot of people hold vendettas, and it looks like this one came back to bite Brendan Sorsby.
Well, especially because we're talking about millions of dollars, right? Texas Tech just again, the reported figure is around $5 million that they're paying to acquire Brendan Sorsby's services to play quarterback for them to compete again for a national championship, like Texas Tech is now heavily invested in this. Why wouldn't, again, understanding that is not the conclusion that you are telling people to jump to and not to get nuts and all these things, but it would be very easy to imagine a world in which these are the dollar amounts that are being negotiated over, and if you put somebody in a position where you're essentially running away with $1 million extra of their money, or doing a deal in not good faith negotiations that involves millions of dollars of your institution's money that you've allotted and budgeted and all these different things, it would be easy to imagine a world in which hurt feelings could start to infiltrate this situation. I know you got to go soon, by the way.
No, but that's the other thing too, Buck, is that I want people to understand this part too. Colleges and third-party NILs are starting to get smart about putting buyouts in these deals. There are a lot of players out there. It's not reported. It's not out there. I'll give you an instance. DJ Lagway, when he left Florida and went to Baylor, he had to give Florida back money. He's on a payment plan right now. So what I'm getting at is there is money owed in these contracts. It's usually handled behind the scenes. We've seen a couple of them go to lawsuits. Everybody remembers the Madden EMI Lava suit when he left Arkansas to go join his brother Nico, which turned out to be a great experience so far for them two. But I just look at it all, and I think, what could an argument be that would hold up in a court of law? And you're right. Texas Tech has ponied up the money. Now, look, he has not been paid his full contract yet. If he were to be ruled ineligible, I would imagine Texas Tech is going to come back and they're going to ask for, hey, look, we're going to need that 1.5 that we gave you as a bonus when you first signed here. So that's where this can get messy, and that's where I've been told Jeffrey Kessler is not only involved with the NCAA side of the gambling part, but also just his personal finances as well and how he's going to handle this going forward.
All right, get out of here. I know you got a meeting in 4 minutes.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Love you, Trey.
Love you, boys.
Trey Wallace with us here on 104.5 The Zone. Look at that. You got one.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Trey
I love
Wallace.
Trey.
Also, getting skinnier every time I see him.
Dude, he's looking good, man. I got to get whatever tapeworm he's got. By the way, I tried to look that up because if you ever look up like Wegovy, Ozempic, it's like thousands of dollars. Oh, you got to be so rich to get skinny.
You looked up a tapeworm?
Tapeworm.
Of course, you're not alleging that that's what Trey Wallace is doing. Of course, Trey Wallace is working very hard to garner his new physique.
Yes, you can order a tapeworm for $15.
Okay, let's not.
Are you sure? I really think it would help me because then my sleep eating would mean nothing. I would be feeding the worm. I think that would solve everything.
What are the residual health effects of a tapeworm beyond not being able to fully benefit from the nutrients that your body is supposed to pull from your food?
Let's see what Google AI says.
Okay.
Oh, it did not even give me, tapeworms, easy for weight loss or potentially fatal. It wants me to listen to this 5-minute thing. There ain't no way. Ain't no way. I think I'm just going to take it and report back. I'll be a case study. I'll sign up. I'll be the pappy. It don't bother me. Dangerous complications. Well, I mean, ain't there complications? Has anybody tested this? I feel like this is how they used to lose weight back in the day. You know what they used to do when you had a fever back in the day? They used to do bloodletting. They used to think, your blood is too hot. You need to get some of that blood out of that body. Get some of that blood out of that body.
Like
Help that
leeches
fever.
and stuff like
That's
that?
how Robin Hood died in real life.
God.
Like the actual story of Robin Hood. They thought he had a fever. He is tied up. Guinevere was like, oh, yeah, slit his wrist. Go ahead. Make it better. And that's how Robin Hood got. I won't be like that. I'll be Bert Hood, and I'll get got by a tapeworm.
Did you learn anything from Trey Wallace's visit with us?
Yeah, I learned that I'll be spending a high supplemental draft pick on Brennan Sorsby if I need a quarterback.
The NFL is not going to approve this player.
They ain't got no choice. Let him play.
What do you mean they don't have any choice? They have the choice.
Don't
they
bet no more.
To make no, it's not just that.
Don't do it again.
Okay, you may know more about this than I do. Is he somebody who could be considered a potential high draft pick in next year's cycle? Like, could he be a part of this star-studded 2027 class that we're all talking about?
Potentially, yes. But if you go into the supplemental draft, if people are unfamiliar with how the supplemental draft works, it is not a stereotypical draft that's like, okay, the Raiders are back on the clock. Let's see who wants to draft this guy. Every team has the opportunity to draft him.
Yeah.
They would submit a bid into the league that says, I would spend a 3rd-round pick on him. I would spend a 6th-round pick on him. And whoever gives up the best pick for him is who would be rewarded that player in the supplemental draft. So if you are a Jet, Brown, or any of these other teams that didn't get a quarterback this year, Colts are a great example because they don't have a 1st-round pick. If you want a guy and want him at a discount where you probably would not be able to get him, then bid high in the supplemental draft. You give up the corresponding draft pick in next year's draft, and you're no worse for wear. Because if you think that Brennan Sorsby could be better than a 4th-round pick, a 3rd-round pick in next year's draft, it does you great value to draft him in the supplemental draft because then you get him now and you don't have to worry about his value going up or down.
Somebody said it sounds like an auction or should call it an auction. I mean, the NFL,
basically.
NFL draft is borderline a livestock show anyway. It's problematic for a number of different reasons. Somewhere between a livestock show and a beauty pageant. I haven't figured out where the proper balance is.
Puka says I can get a Wegovy cheaper with insurance. I just need some insurance now.
Okay, maybe you just start taking better care of yourself.
Football Girlie says, Robert, it can kill you. They lay eggs. So do chickens, and we love them. Think a big tapeworm does not want y'all to be skinny. I think that's what it is. All these other weight loss opportunities, they don't want you to be skinny. Get a tapeworm. Watch the pounds shred off your body.
All right. Robert brought up as a part of his Oh No, a Pro Football Talk article alluding that Diana Rossini could, at some point, tell her side of this ongoing story involving Mike Vrabel. We will give you the details of what Pro Football Talk is reporting and talking about coming up next.
It's Ramon Foster, and I'm with Aaron from United Structure Systems. Man, they came by today to check out my house. If there's anything, any issues, small or big, you're gonna fill us in there.
We can take care of it no matter what kind of problems. So first off, we'll just kind of take a look through your house and see what kind of issues you got going. You know, cracks in the brick, cracks in the drywall, weird spots in the floor, doors sticking, windows not opening properly. Once we identify those areas, we're going to do a thorough inspection around the outside, make sure there's no issues going on with that. And then once we look over it, we'll talk about what's going on, and hopefully we ain't got no issues, and then we'll go from there.
Let's go. Let's go.
Mr. Foster, so we have looked at the issues that you brought up. We had the drywall in the attic up here above your bonus or your garage. You had some doors sticking.
I did.
Going in your bathroom. So we've inspected all that. We don't see any major structural concerns. So you're going to be one of our lucky good news customers today. There is some minor deflection there. That's not an uncommon thing. As any house is built, it's its biggest and its strongest the day that it's born. Right, and from that point, it just gets older, just like us. We ain't hopping up out of bed, taking off down the hallway, running down the stairs anymore.
Not protecting quarterbacks anymore.
No.
Opening up late. We're done.
Your guard ain't there no more.
Okay,
so.
I got you.
So it just happens. It gets a little older and it starts to deflect. Now, there are some things we can do to kind of help adjust those doors, mainly adjusting in the door, which we don't necessarily do, and maybe doing some light shimming in the crawl space down there to address those sticking doors. But for now, no major issues there. We did talk about the grading in the back and some issues that we can take care of back there for you. But that's pretty much up in a nutshell. No big issues and you're good to go. So.
Awesome. So again, what you deal with United Structural Systems is it's upfront, it's honest, and now I can sleep peacefully at night, okay?
So Bert's oh no earlier in the show was Diana. And the story that never ends between former Titans head coach Mike Vrabel, now Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel, and former Athletic NFL insider and regular guest on the show and friend of mine, Diana Rossini. It's slowed down as far as the developments, thank God. It's just been constant, the amount of things that the New York Post has been able to find over the course of the last couple of weeks, almost a month since that story came out. Now, there was an article on Pro Football Talk yesterday that Robert sent me, and it was talking about one potentially significant development that still has yet to happen at some point, if it even happens, and that is Diana, however she chooses to do it, sharing her side of the story if she feels compelled to share her side of the story. And Robert, your contention during Oh No was what?
I think that she should share her side of the story to kind of take the power away from all the narrative drivers who assume they know what the story was. But in all actuality, there are probably only two people who know the full gamut of what happened between the two of them, and that's Mike and Diana.
So Mike has not acknowledged anything, right? Just something, difficult conversations, and that he needs to take time away with his family and that he's seeking counseling. But he has not acknowledged what is being alleged. He has not given voice to it. He's apologizing for something that he hasn't admitted to at these weird press conferences that he does. It's very curious PR decision-making by somebody who I consider to be intelligent, but, you know, the behavior has not been intelligent here lately.
And all of us have succumbed to our weakest moments.
Sure.
Like Vrabel is not this moment. Diana is not that moment.
No,
we are not ourselves at our worst moments. Like it's a gray situation.
No, that's important to say, and I know I sound like I'm caping up for him in these two specific moments, and you could say, well, how could you say anything nice about somebody who would do something to this to other people, to the people they love, or whatever? And I get that. I get that part of it. Mike Vrabel's done a lot of good things in the world for people, for human beings, for families. Diana has too. I really consider Diana Rossini to be a good friend of mine, and at whatever point she needs some level of help or assistance, I hope that we're in a situation where we can provide that for her, if there's anything that we can do at all, other than to just be there for somebody who's clearly going through it. Again, decisions of their own making, whatever. Now, I disagree with Robert that the best situation for her would be to continue to give life to a story that seems like it might be able to fade. Now, maybe the Chargers, when the schedule release comes out, do something on social media that brings it all back up again, like Inside the NBA just did. I would be fascinated to know, because I don't know when the next time I'm going to talk to Diana is. If I feel that it would probably be smart to call her at some point and check in, and I haven't done that yet. My logic was to, after initially talking to her after the story came out, to let things settle down and then check in. But things haven't until recently settled down, and that's what I'm saying. Like, things are starting to settle down. There will be jokes that are made. There will be cruel jokes that will be made. It will impact everybody involved in this story. It could impact them at any point in their lives in the future. Everybody involved, the significant others of the two parties involved, the children of the two parties involved. It's a very, very messy story. I think at some point our attention spans are such that we will start to let this thing go. Now, if she wants to get back into the public space, she has to, one, acknowledge this in ways that the other side of the whatever this was has not, right? I don't know if you necessarily have to lean into it, but that would be very unpleasant, I would imagine, and would almost, I think, make life harder on the people involved if that was the path that she were to choose. I wouldn't even pretend to know how to give advice to anybody in this situation, other than at every turn it just feels like, God, how is there more stuff? And how could this be so careless and out front in ways that it's surprising that it took this long for something to come to light, if if it's carried on allegedly as long as it's carried on. But she could, if she chooses, I mean, she could write a book, right? She could write a book and people would be interested. She could start a YouTube channel. I'm sure people would be interested. She could make an appearance on a program of her choosing, and I'm sure it would be compelling. But, man, I don't know. At least it's easy for me to say as somebody who doesn't have to take a step back, because that's the hardest thing. Like, once you're going to have to pry this microphone out of my cold, dead hands, because you enjoy talking, not so much talking to people, but talking at people. You enjoy the platform. Certainly, there are benefits from being a public figure, especially like Diana's on national TV, on national broadcast. She's doing the sidelines for Netflix, the NFL broadcast. She was one of the people that the NFL chose to do those Netflix broadcasts and things like that. And there's not just great opportunities and great things that result out of being a public figure that way, but it's also a job that's very well compensated, like making a good living. And it's all just come crashing down around you. So it could be a situation where the human response is to, no, I want those things back. I want my old life back. I just don't know if you ever get to a place in the world of social media where you can have your life back or close to it in a way that isn't just deeply unpleasant every time you log into your social media platforms.
Yeah, it sucks. But, I mean, the one thing, I mean, it's easy for anyone on the outside to try to add something to give the person who's actually hurting in this instance solace. But the one thing I would add to try to give anyone involved in this solace is that time heals a lot of things. Time and distance between things heals a lot of things. There have been plenty of people who have been jettisoned from sports media who have found their way back in their own little niche. Like if you want to look at Todd McShay. Todd McShay off of ESPN was not covering anything, was not really doing anything for a minute. And now he has kind of worked his way back up to be at the top of the profession. I don't think that's out of the cards. I think time will figure a lot of things out. But
yeah, it's just as a public figure with children involved who I think in some form or fashion have been spared, like her kids, not Mike's, have been spared the understanding of what this is in the public sphere. And will probably, it's not like they have friends who are going to tease them at that age, 5 or 6 years old, that would also be aware of this scandal. You'd be more worried about the parents of kids that you see in the carpool line and stuff like that. Or frankly, just cameras following you. I mean, the New York Post found out where she lived and showed up at her house with this stuff. Like that. That is the part of this that's deeply uncomfortable. It's that guy following Vrabel through the airport with a cell phone, asking him TMZ-style questions for like a very uncomfortable period of time from his airport gate to his vehicle. It's people following around Jen, his wife, and now sources close to Jen Vrabel and stuff like that. What is this? What is Black Sports Online? This guy for Black Sports Online is putting out speculation pieces at every turn on this story. I'm sure a great many people have benefited off of the clicks and views that this thing has provided, and it wouldn't be the first time in the world that we've delved too far into the reality TV portions of real-life human stories. But, man, I don't know. I don't know what the right thing to do in this situation is.
We do have to get out of here, but I did want to get your opinion on the Daily Mail article that came out, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, that was kind of going over the options the Patriots had if Mike Vrabel was to say, I don't have it anymore. It's not in me. I don't have it in me to do the job the way I was doing it. The quote from the Daily Mail article, but if these upcoming few months go haywire, and if they are put in a situation of no return, either with the team not doing well or the drama of Mike's family issues taking over and forcing a decision on Mike's coaching future, the one person that they would seek to replace him would be Mike Tomlin. And I wonder, that name coming out, even associating the Patriots with that name, means that there is some factual-based reporting done in this. If you had to put odds on it, that Mike Vrabel is the Patriots head coach week 1 of the NFL season.
Week 1?
If he is coaching for them week 1. Or, I mean, we could do it two-pronged. Do you think he's the coach at the end of the year?
What I'm going to say is there's a non-0% chance that he is not the coach of the Patriots. I know that's a double negative, but week 1. Because I think one of the worst decisions he's made in all of this, among many publicly bad decisions, is I think at that weird-ass Thursday pre-draft press conference, Thursday of the draft press conference that he did an hour before the draft started, he should have said that he was taking a step back indefinitely and not resign the job, but actually gotten away from the scrutiny of this. Now, I think that the Crafts could, there's conduct clauses in his contract, in any of their contracts, that could see him fired for cause if they felt that this jeopardizes the organization in a significant enough way. But yeah, as soon as you start talking about other names that organizations could target, the organization has to think about, hey, what if this doesn't work with the Golden Boy? And I know Bob Kraft loves Mike. I know Bob Kraft thinks of him almost, maybe not Brady, but it's kind of like that, where they're talking about where Robert Kraft is probably the only one other than Brady's parents that calls that man Tommy, right? Like a son type of situation. Vrabel's also on those first 3 Patriots championship teams. So there is a higher level of esteem there, and try and make it work with the problem child. But they can't be caught with their pants down, even more so than they already have been, because they already look like they're chasing this thing reactively instead of proactively at every turn. Anyway, 615-737-1045. Final hours next. Let's talk Titans. Let's talk Anthony Hill expectations for the second-round pick out of Texas. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone.
This is a different court, Blair. Same result, Slay. Okay, Blair. See, that's Tyler Tanner. See, Tyler Tanner's in the house now.
Let's see what you got. Jerry's out, Blair.
Blair, come on. Okay, Blair, just come sit down. Come on, Blair. Blair, stop. You're going to get hurt. Blair, get off the court. That's enough.
What's the verdict, Blair?
The courtroom is where I play ball. Boy, Durham, injury law. And that ain't got no roof.
What's going on? Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mid-Kentucky Downs studio. I am Robert Walsh. In former Titans news, Adam Schefter reported this morning Dallas-based criminal defense attorney Michael J. Todd announced that all criminal charges against his client, former Chiefs and Titans cornerback Legarius Sneed, have been dismissed. Sneed originally was charged with aggravated assault that was reduced by a grand jury to the misdemeanor offense of failure to report the commission of a felony. The state of Texas dismissed the misdemeanor completely Friday, which Todd says leaves Sneed without any conviction or admission of any kind. In other NFL news, veteran edge rusher Dante Fowler Jr. is signing with the Seahawks on a one-year deal up to $5 million. Fowler spent last season with the Cowboys, starting 11 games, finishing with 20 pressures and 3 sacks. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Final hour is upon us, and we should talk about Anthony Hill, the Titans rookie linebacker who's coming in here to try and make an instant impact on this football team in 2026. So they didn't have a second-round pick after day one of the NFL draft, as you well know, because they traded up in the first round, back into the first round. They took Carnell Tate 4, which was their first selection on the board, and then they saw Keldrick Falk sitting there at 31 and said, nah, that second round pick, we don't necessarily need to have it, but wait. There's Anthony Hill sitting there after a couple of different linebackers, off-ball linebackers came off the board, and they said, no, if you like the player enough, you go get him. And so Mike Borgonzi went up into the second round, acquired Anthony Hill out of Texas, and decided that that cost was sufficient for the team to not have a third or a fourth round pick. They did not have a pick between Anthony Hill Jr. and Fernando Carmona, who was the guard out of Arkansas, who they were able to add with the first of their fifth round selections. Now, Anthony Hill is going to come in here and be an instant impact player because I think that he's one of the 3 best linebackers on the football team today. Regardless of how little scheme he knows or how long it's going to take him to play with better, what's the term that Borgonzi and Greg used at the live show on Friday? Key and diagnose as a linebacker. Better key and diagnose as far as what he's seeing, how he recognizes, and how he uses his instincts and also his eye discipline to maximize his abilities. Playing off-ball linebacker. He's somebody who's got a lot of athletic ability at his disposal. He's somebody who had 17 sacks as an off-ball linebacker in his 3 years at Texas. He is very, very communicative, which of course is important if you're playing off-ball linebacker. And he's coming in here with great energy at a position where they are pretty thin. It's Cody Barton and it's Cedric Gray, and that's it. There's some conversation there about James Williams, and I don't really know what you do with him if you're a staff that didn't draft him and a GM that didn't draft him, other than if he can be a plus for you on special teams for years to come as a former 7th-round pick himself out of Miami and can give you some kind of value on defense, that's great. But I think that Anthony Hill immediately supersedes James Williams' ability as an off-ball linebacker, even though the Williams thing it's a risk we're taking. I just don't think he's really in the competition for the top 3.
That makes sense to me. I wonder, I don't think it's exactly a one-to-one comparison here, but do you remember when Cedric Gray was drafted his rookie year and there was all of this conversation about one buzzword?
Green dot.
The green dot. Who is going to wear the green dot? Who is going to wear the green dot? Who are we going to have to do this? It's got to be Gray, right? I mean, he's our highest drafted linebacker. He's got to be that guy. And then he didn't really do anything his rookie year. Do you think we are in a position where it's either or with Anthony Hill, or do you think this is a foregone conclusion that he will have a bigger contribution to the defense than Gray did his rookie year?
Well, I think it's a foregone conclusion because the thing that you may have forgotten, Robert, is that Cedric played almost no games because of injury. He just wasn't available.
Oh, that's right.
His rookie season.
That's right.
So there's a world in which Cedric Gray takes a faster ascent sooner if he's healthy as a rookie player, but he missed a considerable chunk of his rookie season. So, and then was injured. Was he hurt in the Niners game, I want to say? Where he came up with, I can't remember exactly what he injured in the Niners game, but I know that's where he was one of the injuries that started the rash of injuries on the defense, especially in the secondary and their linebacker core.
So he was placed on injured reserve August 29th. Before the season had even started, he would go on to miss half of the season. He was reactivated October 29th.
That's right, because they put him in against the Colts, and he was just dreadful, right? Him and James Williams were in there playing together, and they just got tore up.
His first game back was he only played special teams against the Houston Texans, but the game that you're talking about was against the Colts. He made 15 tackles, which is why tackles are a horrible stat to assign value to a linebacker. Like it's their job.
Yeah.
Him having a lot of these means something. No, if a player has that many tackles, odds are he's probably out of position, and a quarterback or a running back is taking advantage of him in coverage or in space.
Yeah, they got taken for a ride by the tight ends and the backs in that game. They were just, and they were so not ready for real in-game competition that it wasn't fair, but you could see how not ready they were immediately. You had something else to add?
Yeah. I mentioned he had 15 tackles in Week 15. He finished the year with 22.
Yeah.
So of his total tackles, a large majority of those came in the one instance against the Colts.
So I have a higher expectation for Anthony Hill in year one than I do of Keldrick Falk, and we kind of explained why that is. Keldrick Falk, there are so many more bodies on the defensive line, and he's going to play a number of different positions. He should be penciled in as a starter in name only, in the sense that he's going to play on early downs, Keldrick Falk. I would love to see a world in which if he gave you a similar stat line to his final year at college, where I'm off the cuff here, I don't have it in front of me, but I believe it's for Keldrick Falk. Keldrick Falk had 2 sacks last year. I want to say he had 5 tackles for loss and 29 total tackles in his final year at Auburn. Did I get any of those 3 numbers right? Do you have them in front of you?
Yeah, give them to me again. You said how many sacks?
2 sacks.
Correct.
5 tackles for loss.
Correct.
He had 29 tackles.
Total tackles, yes.
He had 4 batted passes.
Correct. How many fumble recoveries?
I don't know about recoveries. I feel like he forced 1 fumble.
He didn't force none of them, but he
recovered 1?
He came up with 1 of them.
Okay, so he recovered a fumble, but did not
on.
force a fumble.
23 solos, by the way. That's a pretty good number when you're looking at total versus solo. So only 6 tackles came as a combined tackle. Everything else he did by himself.
So my point is that for a rookie line from Keldrick Falk would be satisfactory to me, provided that they have him in an 8 or 9 man defensive line rotation, the way that they've talked about. That's okay in his first year. You can slow play him. Hill is a different story. Hill's going to have to come in here and play right away. And if he doesn't, then you question whether or not he's the kind of player that they should have traded back up into the second round to acquire. That would be, or trade up in the second round. They did still have the second round pick, but to trade back up or further up in the second round after you've already traded back up into the first round to acquire a player, you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do, yeah. I'm glad you've given us 15 ups there after I spent all day trying to get you to say trying to get you to say a good one. You gave me like 6 of them there. This is what I had. I had this to try and make this, but I didn't like the up. The up was too exaggerated. It didn't sound real.
Tighten up.
Up. You sound like that Browns O-line coach from Hard Knocks. But then if I put it back to back.
Tighten up.
Tighten up.
Sounds like I'm malfunctioning, which is what it would take for me to say that phrase.
You are a robot.
Tighten up.
Tighten up. Come on. It's okay. I'm getting Kroll back here to pull some good ones. I'm going to make it better, guys. I'm going to make it better. We're going to get a good one. Every Victory Monday, we're going to have the ball caps on, and you're going to have Titan Buck going.
Titan up. Isn't it Chuck?
Up, and away.
Isn't it Chuck? Chuck's the positive one.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Then this schizophrenic radio host. I literally had a very high-level executive with the Titans come up to me and say, "Well, we should get more Chuck around here. That's why I don't want to do this."
This is Chuck. This is Chuck, guys. This is what
this
Chuck
is. AI me, Chuck the robot. Up. He malfunctions from time to time. You got to smack him on the ass, get him going again.
Oh, that's good stuff.
I hate that.
That is good stuff. Don't worry. I'm going to get Kroll pulled me another one. I'm going to get a better one in here.
This is unpleasant. 615-737-1045 is the number if you want to get involved. Let's go to Titanomics.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. Question, who are you more optimistic about right now? I asked this question, I think, yesterday to Ramon and Will, and had some pretty good answers. But optimistic more right now, defense with Robert Saleh and Gus Bradley leading that side, or the offense with Brian Daboll taking over? And are you buying into the defensive rebuild first, or do you believe the offense is finally about to open up?
Appreciate you, Titanomics, and
Tighten up.
That's good stuff, dude.
Tighten up.
Tighten up with some in it. All right, sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying, Chuck? A great question by Titanomics. Who are you more confident in, the defense or the offense? It's such a good question that Buck is leaving the studio. I think that's a segment for tomorrow. Titanomics, tune in tomorrow when we find out what the answer to that is. Tune in next segment when we talk about, oh, dang it, I had it right in front of me. Number 1 picks and who fares the best with the organization that drafted them. That's next on the Chuck Rising Show here on 104.5 The Zone.
Tighten up. Tighten up. Tighten up. Tighten. 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 Tighten up. Tighten up. I want to give you credit because when you do actually put your mind to something, you do tend to accomplish these things. But I want you to know that I hate you for this. And I hate you for a great many reasons, but I feel it in my soul. I hate you. Tighten up, because now that's going to live forever. And it's going to make me very mad. And I told you that it's the thing that makes me the most uncomfortable when people come up to me in public, which is they say it to me and I don't know how to respond. And now I'm just going to start saying, I hope you have a better season, which seems kind of mean.
I think there's an easy way around this. I think I just solved an issue for you. I think that you need to have this MP3 on your phone.
Just play it.
Yes. And whenever someone says, tighten up to you, you can just play this.
Tighten up.
And that way it's not genuine. You're not really saying it. It gives you an out. It makes everyone happy. Chemo's like, what's the word I'm thinking? Sailor Sarah or Que Sera? I think it's
Sera. I think
what will be, will be. We're watching From right now on MGM, and I love it. If any nerds are out there.
Somebody on YouTube said people will call that fake, and they are morons.
If I was making Buck say tighten up in AI, it would be way better. I would have him twirling sparklers and wearing a Titans jersey.
Well, somebody made one of from the uniform reveal of me in a Titans jersey that Wyatt was delighted to quote tweet and put on the internet and for more people to see. Still haven't forgiven Jimmy for that.
Whenever the Titans win a game, I just hope that everyone would clip it. And send you just a nice little
tighten up.
I love that you recoil every time you hear that, like a snake back in his hole.
It's kind of like garlic and Dracula. He's just waving at me. It just hiss at you.
What are we going to do here?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
Somebody on YouTube says, does anyone think this is like watching Bert and Ernie except Buck is the grumpy one? Which one's grumpy? Bert?
Hey, Bert. Bert is the pencil-headed one.
You and Lucas are Bert and Ernie.
But it would be Bert is the one that's kind of like grumpy. Ernie is the more football stewy-headed one that's like, hey. So like Lucas would technically be Bert. Or no. You would be Ernie. And we are both Bert. Like we're both like, hey. And you're like, quit eating cookies in the bed.
Bert, and the two of you are Ernie.
Yes. Is that not what I said?
No, you reversed it.
That's my fault.
Tighten up. Stop. It's like a spray bottle for like a cat or something.
Ernie is the grumpier one?
I think Bert is the grumpy one. What I'm saying is I'm the grumpy one, I'm Bert, and the two of you are Ernie.
No, I was right. Yes, you are right. We are right. We are correct. Don't listen to the chat. They're wrong.
Okay.
Ernie is me and Lucas. You are Bert.
Correct.
And we are talking about the last 4 number 1 overall picks. They've all been quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Who is destined to have more success with the team that drafted them?
Somebody said I'm Oscar. I like that better.
No, you would be.
But I live in a much nicer trash can.
If you were a Muppet style character, I think you would be Sam the Eagle.
No, it's Oscar for sure.
No, Oscar is just upset about other people bothering him. Sam the Eagle.
What is my entire existence
your
if
color
not perpetually
is Sam
bothered?
the Eagle right now. Sam is just like this high and mighty, hoity-toity, nose in the air. Oh, Kermit, why are we having these other people on the show tonight? That's Sam the Eagle. You're Sam the Eagle. You're not Oscar.
I feel like I'm somewhere in between.
Or you're Sam the Grouch. However you want to look at it.
The eagle that lives in a trash can.
Yeah.
A dumpster eagle.
That sounds like me. Dumpster Eagle sounds like my wrestling moniker. Bert Dumpster
That's our racehorse name.
Yeah, Dumpster Eagle. Yes. Yes, we have Dumpster Eagle. Love it. Love it.
We got something accomplished in this segment. Look at us. All right. So, Robert's point earlier, or that we were going to talk about this yesterday, it came to my attention yesterday, that the last 4 number 1 overall picks have all been quarterbacks. So it's Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Cam Ward, now Fernando Mendoza with the Raiders. And historically, we now have a new sect of data, including Cam Ward and Jackson Dart, 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round for their respective teams. You also have Mendoza and Ty Simpson, who will go in the first round. But Ty Simpson is going to a very different situation than just about when's the last first-round pick? I guess it would be Mahomes, right? Mahomes and Alex Smith is as close a comparison to what Ty Simpson is walking into. I mean, Stafford, obviously a much higher level player than Alex Smith, and only took 1 year for Patrick Mahomes to usurp Alex Smith, but that's as close a comparison as I can come up with.
With that high of a pick, if you were going to say a later pick, you could go Jordan Love, who had to sit for, I believe, 3 years before he got a chance to start.
Just about. So, of the 4 players going to 4 franchises who you don't, I mean, I don't know. Is Carolina considered poorly run or just that they have a very problematic owner? Like, for the most part, David Tepper, didn't he renege on some kind of practice facility or something like that in the Carolina area?
What's the hill? It's some kind of a hill in South Carolina. But, yes, they had done their off-season practices there for a long time, and that he pulled out of that when they were upgrading. But I think before Dave Canales got there, they were thought of as a poorly run organization.
He was definitely thought of as an objectively bad owner. He was on video throwing a drink at a Jags fan,
being upset about the restaurant that had the message on the marquee, making fun of him. But I don't think anybody was lining up to say that Dan Morgan was an exceptional general manager.
Sure. So, of Panthers, Bears, Titans, Raiders, what is the best of those 4 organizations? Because it's probably the Panthers. The Bears just recently got good. Nobody would accuse the Bears of being well run.
Yeah, and I mean, during that time, this is the same general manager. You can say that the Bears have had really good drafts, and they have, but Ryan Poles is the same general manager that traded the first pick in the second round for Chase Claypool.
Yeah.
So, there are warts.
We're not that far removed.
Right, associated with Chicago as well.
So a good quarterback situation, if properly supported, can cover up all the warts that you've previously had, which is what Bryce Young is trying to do, and he did make the playoffs last year
and
for
a
the
good
first
head coach.
time. He does, a good head coach will cover up a lot of warts as well. Yeah, good things can mask organizations with warts. Of those 4 organizations, I think if you polled 100 NFL fans, general NFL fans, the majority of them would say that the Panthers are the best organization of those 4. There might be some who get caught up in the recency bias of success, but Chicago just got good. That just happened.
Is Carolina the one that's most recently been to a Super Bowl out of all of those? 2016? It's got to be, right?
Yes. Yes, for sure. It's not the Raiders or the Titans.
With that fact, I would agree with you. Yes.
So Carolina, even in a different ownership in that, one owner had to sell because he was apparently asking for, was he rubbing employees' feet?
It was I can't remember.
Asking for massages or giving massages,
Friday,
something like that.
Allowing people to, come in wearing it was
problematic.
A weird situation.
What was Jerry's name? Him with the statue and these
Richardson?
2 Panthers. Jerry Richardson. That's right. Good pull. Two-Tone Blues on YouTube says they went to the playoffs, the Panthers did, so did the Bears. We, talking about the Titans, went 3-14 twice. And yeah, it's not just that, it's the last 4 years. It's the 7-10 with the 7 straight losses with Vrabel. It's the decision-making after Vrabel that caused all of the nonsense that was 24-25. They have put themselves in a hole where I look at the Titans like I look not for as an extended period of time, but I think of the Titans as a similar organization, closer to the Jets and the Browns than I do better organizations because of the last 4 years. I know that's not who they've been forever. And by the way, I don't think that they have to be that forever. They can pull themselves out of this hole with some good decision-making. It's just the last 4 years. They have behaved like the Browns and the Jets.
It would be...
But I think the Raiders are worse. The Raiders are worse. The Raiders are the worst of this. It's 20 years of malpractice for the Raiders. That's not even close to me. And then the Bears, I don't know. What's been the biggest issue with the Bears? It's really been their quarterback decisions. There are some mismanagement things in there. There are some weird, what was the CFL guy that they brought in to be the coach after Lovey? We had him on the show.
Marty
one time.
Morningwig?
No.
He was the Ravens offensive coordinator.
He was there.
Started with a T.
Trestman.
Mark Trestman. Good call.
The Mark Trestman thing after Lovey was a nightmare. The Matt Nagy thing had, at least some level of success, but then fell off a cliff after he and Mitch Trubisky had their best season together. So the Skinny on YouTube says, I think Jets and Browns are a tier below the Titans. I would agree with you historically, but in the last 4 years, I think they are the same in their behavior. I think they are the Raiders. They are the Jets. They are the Browns in the way that they have put themselves in this hole. Now, everything that they do to dig themselves out of this hole could show us that they have redeeming qualities, that they have learned from their mistakes, and that they are committed to a sustainable path and method of putting together a winning program that in the last 4 years they've been the complete opposite of.
Right. And if we're going to look at them, let's say 6 years in the future, we were doing this same exercise again, I think the one thing that you could look that have had the last 2 years in common is Mike Borgonzi. And when you look, if we were to flash forward 6 years in the future, I think that we would say out of these four teams, the Titans were the best organization out of these four.
Maybe so.
And that remains to be seen, right? I'm going off the last year and a half of Mike Borgonzi, the acquisition, the coach hiring, picking of the players, all that stuff.
I did an interview with a Cumulus station, I can't remember my guy's name that asked me to do an interview with him yesterday in a local station in Johnson City, maybe, about the Titans. And his last question to me was, what has impressed you most about Mike Borgonzi? And this is coming off the live show. And I mean, if I don't think there would ever be a scenario in which Mike asked me, hey, what about me impresses you the most? But if I was to have an honest conversation about it, I would say, well, I'm not impressed with any of this yet. Like, I reserve the right to be impressed by the things that you have done that will set you up for success, both in the short term and the long term. I am waiting to be impressed by the things that they have done. Now, their job is not to impress me. It is to win football games. And I see you smiling back there.
Because I understand what you're saying, but I think people are going to misconstrue that.
Yeah, for sure.
What you're saying is I'm not going to put your report card on the fridge because you got a B+. That's your job. I'm not impressed by anything you've done because you've done your job. You've made the team better, but we aren't going to the playoffs and winning double-digit games. I'm not impressed yet.
I just thought it was a weird question because I'm like, they just went 3-14. Like, I'm not impressed by any of this. I'm waiting for them to get it right. I'm waiting to be impressed by the moves that they make to put these players in position to succeed. Maybe the players, Cam Ward had an impressive college resume. Carnell Tate had an impressive college resume at Ohio State. It's a different version of the Brinker conversation with Borgonzi, where the moment where Chad Brinker, to me, most ran afoul, not of just of this fan base, but of how people thought of him in that role, is when he did the resume flex thing, when I asked him, why should people trust you with the rings? And he cited the 9 rings of the front office. And my immediate response to that was, I don't care about what you've done in previous jobs. Those do not really impact the job that you have done here. The job that you have done here is 6-28. At least as a president of football operations, overseeing a team that you were supposed to help innovate and just failed spectacularly to do. I'm not impressed by your previous stops. So while Mike Borgonzi's resume prior to arriving in Tennessee is impressive, yes, and that resume is absolutely why you give him the opportunity to become a general manager and why he's viewed as a top GM candidate when he was available to be hired. The word impressed should be reserved for the moments where they do things that are impressive and not lose to that stinky Raiders team in week 6.
And for what it's worth, just to add context, not because I'm siding with him, he did not offer the 9 rings unfoundedly. He was asked, why should we have confidence in you and Mike Borgonzi to fix this thing?
Why should people trust you to get it right when he specifically had been involved in 3 different failed versions of this?
Right, and he cited the 9 rings and the history, which it wasn't the best answer, but just context of why he would say that.
He kind of bowed up a little bit. The tone. Yeah, as somebody who famously has tone problems myself, okay? I can relate to bad tone. Like, his tone was bad. He got defensive. And you cannot be up there talking about the coach that you just fired when 6 weeks ago you said patience over panic and said the owner was on board. And then, again, it was the right call. I have not given Amy a ton of credit these last couple of years for making good decisions. Firing Brian Callahan in week 6 was absolutely the correct decision. You were going to lose whatever interest you had left in that product. You were going to lose it. He had to go. It was getting worse. It wasn't getting better. She made the correct decision, even if it was a departure from what they set out to do at the start of the season, which was just 6 weeks prior to firing that coach. With Borgonzi, do I feel that because now he's in a pretty significant role versus the role that he was hired into last year, right? Now he has full roster control. Now Chad Brinker isn't here in this nebulous job that it doesn't sound like they're going to replace, by the way, which tells you what you need to know about the end of the Chad Brinker experience if they don't hire somebody to fill that role. I'd be curious to see what happens to guys like Dave Ziegler and Reggie McKenzie and all these other people that were brought in as essentially, support staff for Mike Borgonzi. Now it's his job, and the people, other than the owner, working in that organization basically all answer to him. So now this has never been more on Mike Borgonzi. Now you show us why we should be impressed with the things that you are going to do, because now it's almost exclusively on you to give this place the kind of infrastructure it needs to succeed beyond what only the owner can provide in terms of financial support, facilities, all these different things that come along with owning a team versus operating a team. Now, that said, which of these 4 number 1 overall picks do we feel like has the best chance to succeed with their respective organization?
Over their rookie contract or just...
Let's say over their rookie contract. I have a severe distrust of the Raiders.
I think that's fair.
Even though I want him to succeed the most, because I want to see that one succeed.
Have we had another guy who came in and really said, all the correct answers like this? At every turn, this guy has looked like, and it's off the field stuff. It's not on the field because that's where you win games at. But, I'm not going to the White House because I need to be there for OTAs. Or, at every turn, he said the right things.
Now, what I will say is I love the Raiders' approach with him because they have brought Kirk Cousins specifically with the intent of not starting Fernando Mendoza. Now, whether they stick to that or not remains to be seen, but Cam, they threw in there right away. And I know it's easy to do after the fact, but I vehemently disagreed with the decision to bring in a nothing in Brandon Allen, because then you were saying, all right, immediately, he's going to play. I don't think that was in his best interest. I really don't. And there's some debate about, well, you don't want to win more games in that situation anyway. You want the better draft pick. But you were waving the white flag. In week 3, you were waving the white flag on that season. And that quarterback, frankly, deserved better. I think if you looked at any number of ways that the Titans, and they didn't set out with bad intentions. Obviously, they want Cam Ward to succeed. But the way that they went about that last year with, okay, Callahan's our guy. Okay, Callahan's not our guy. Okay, he's not our guy as a play caller. Now he's not our guy to be the coach. Cam Ward is swimming, and this is all happening within the first 6 weeks of his rookie season on a team that is bad to begin with. You're just putting the thing in a constant state of turmoil for that player. I think that the Raiders are going to give Mendoza a better chance to succeed by not playing him right away on a roster that may not be ready to fully support him right away. I like that approach better than I like the approach here with Cam. We'll see who ends up being a better player. Doesn't mean Mendoza is going to be a better player than Cam Ward. But I like the approach that the organization took with Mendoza versus what they did here with Cam. And I don't think that Kubiak's going to get fired in his first year. I don't think that Mendoza is going to have to go through the strain and the strife that Cam Ward did. I don't think anybody's going to struggle the way that Cam did. In fact, I would argue that none of those situations that these quarterbacks were drafted into was worse than the situation that Cam got drafted into. And that's on them. That's not on him. So I guess I would say that by percentage chance, I feel less good about Cam's trajectory because they've already made some bad decisions, but they seem to be trending in a better direction. I don't know how many scars he's going to carry over from his rookie year. That's the thing that I need to be able to answer this question, that I can't answer this question. I also need a sample size of Mendoza, but we're talking about by percentage chance, who do you think's most likely to succeed? I think that Caleb Williams with Ben Johnson is a good thing. But they also tried to screw that up around him with Eberflus and committing to Eberflus and then not committing to Eberflus and firing him halfway through the season. So it's between the Bears and the Titans for who has handled their number one overall picks worse to this point.
See, that's different because if we were ranking them 1 through 4, who I think will have the most success on their rookie contract with the team that drafted them as a number one quarterback, I would go Bears 1. I would go Titans 2. I would go Panthers 3. I would go Raiders 4. Because the same things that you cited is that I don't trust Vegas yet.
No.
You have to prove to me that you are worthy of trust. I do trust Ben Johnson. I thought Caleb Williams proved a lot of people wrong his rookie and his second year in the NFL. I think Cam is primed to prove a lot of people wrong. I am not in on Bryce Young. I think he is.
It's so hard to be.
He can play in the NFL, but is he a top 15, top 16 quarterback? Probably not. He's probably somewhere between 17 and 20 for me.
615-737-1045 is the number. Last call for phone calls. If you got them, we'll wrap up the show. Coming up next. Welcome back to the show, fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Last call for phone calls if you got them, 615-737-1045. If you want to jump in, we had a little bit of post-draft free agency news pop up. The Seahawks are going to sign Dante Fowler. So Dante Fowler, who has been a talking point here the past couple of days because of what you have in Robert Saleh, who was on the staff when Dante Fowler was drafted, and the injuries that happened to Dante Fowler as a result of their rookie minicamp in Dante Fowler's rookie year. He's going to Seattle, signing with the defending Super Bowl champions, and they're going to continue to platoon their pass rush because you've got
dude.
Leonard Williams, Nwosu is still there, Jaron Reed is still there. What's the former Cowboys pass rusher? DeMarcus Lawrence is still there. They have a number of guys on the defensive front that can make your life a living hell. So their approach is going to still be to try and mug teams and let Sam Darnold find his success where he can.
They did not draft a front seven player until the 7th round, and their front seven is probably still the best in sports. It's insane.
You take them over the Broncos?
Yes. I mean, simply off depth.
John Franklin Myers is out, yeah.
I have no problem doing that. Denver's still going to have a good defense. They're always going to find those guys, but Seattle is just – and they have a multitude of different dudes they can throw at you for different situations. And pair that with Mike, Seattle is terrifying. I would hate to be in that division.
You know what's interesting? How hard is it to sustain great defense? How many of these defenses, how many of these teams who have what we would consider elite caliber defenses or excellent defenses for a period of time, how many of them sustain it for a period longer than 2 years? Not just because of free agency and roster attrition comes for us all and coaching turnover, as we've talked about. Especially if you have success, your coordinator gets a job, all of a sudden you're dealing with a little bit of brain drain as a coaching staff. So maybe you've still got similar guys, but you've not got similar juice from the coach or similar schematic expertise. Beyond that, just injury. The amount of injury that takes place on the defensive side of the ball, like it is really, really tough to sustain a good or excellent high-quality defense for a period longer than 2 years. So if Seattle is able to recreate it even somewhat, because they didn't just lose players on their front, they lost players in their secondary too. And I know Reek Woolen was looking like he might be the odd man out under a Mike McDonald coaching staff. He ultimately goes to the Eagles on a one-year deal, if I remember correctly. And you're going into battle in that division, if you're the Arizona Cardinals with a running back drafted way too high and a quarterback room of Carson Beck, Gardner Minshew, and Jacoby Brissett. That is what you're facing the NFC West with. I don't feel good about these things if I'm a Cardinals fan.
God, I miss Mike. I would do anything to go back. I feel like the Breaking Bad scene when Walter's in the back of the car and he's like, no! The Ravens coming off that AFC championship.
You talking about Mike McDonald? Yeah. Well, that defense, they led the league in sacks, in points allowed, and maybe third down conversions allowed? They were in turnovers.
That was easily my favorite year of football.
Denard
in
Wilson
the last
was still
10
on
years.
that staff. Mike McDonald was the coordinator. That's what I'm saying, though. And then 2 years later, you're looking at a Ravens defense that can't get after the quarterback this past year and could probably use some help in the secondary. It's really tough to sustain. Let's take one more call here before we wrap it up for the day because, of course, I forgot to do polls. If I had done polls, they would have been presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's
most trusted dealer in all of the South.
No. The South's most trusted Ford dealer. The most trusted dealer in all of the South is a man that I used to refer to only as Black Jesus.
Woody in Nashville.
Woody in Nashville is next.
Hey, guys. Can you hear me all right?
I can.
All right.
I've called before. I'm an entertainer, coach, driver. I was driving out of town, but I was in town today, and I was listening to it, and I may be one of the only people that remembers Que Sera, Sera. So I have written a new song for the Titans. It's a Que Sera, Sera. Whatever he'll be, we'll see. The future of Titans, he'll be. Que Sera, Sera.
Que Salah Salah. Well done by Woody.
Hey,
round of applause.
We love that, Woody.
Acapella off the fly. Well done, Woody.
Appreciate you.
That's a good thought.
Do you know the Que Sera, Sera song?
I don't. I think he just gave us his personal rendition, but if you have it available.
Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Yeah, it's a banger. Que Sera, Sera.
Que Salah Salah.
Que Salah, Salah.
Okay, very good.
We love that. Appreciate Woody. Anytime you guys want to make up songs, give us a call.
We should have. I mean, we've got enough people out there. Although, didn't you disparage Johnny the Poet the last time?
No.
Didn't he tweet you some criticism?
No, he said he DM'd you and was like, whenever you want a real song, give me a call. A poet and name only. I'm just kidding, Johnny. Johnny does good stuff.
We do enjoy when Robert comes up with his original renditions, his Weird Al renditions of various songs. And if the audience were in Music City, I feel like we could probably get a few.
We should have The Voice. It's like Buck and The Voice, and all of us have kind of like got our mics off, and the first one to be like, hot. That sounds like a fun summer thing, but also a very heavy lift by the audience, hopefully.
In the same way that we are also not willing to work harder than we are already working, I don't think we need to make the audience work harder than
Don't tell people that. Don't tell people that.
I think they know. I think it's a pretty dead giveaway. That's going to do it for us today. Speaking of not working harder, Robert and I are off prime time tonight, so you can hang out there with Easton and Ross, and we will talk to you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.